settled, I'm gonna answer a couple more questions. So this first one is, what snacks do you miss from home? I would have to say the Trader Joe's Takis and the Lifesavers Collisions. Those things are so good and I miss them so much. So for the best food I had in both countries, I'm gonna answer for both. In Argentina was definitely when we went on an estancia and we had an asado there, and they were serving us some of the best choripanes, empanadas, asado, literally everything. It was so good. If you're listening Spanish, thank you so much. That was really good food. And then I also had some really good steak in Buenos Aires. As you know, Argentina is known for its really good steak, so I really enjoyed that. And then in Chile, I've had some really good Thai food. My friends and I found this really good Thai restaurant, and I've had some of the best Thai food I've ever had, some of the best Thai tea I've ever had. So I'm really happy with that discovery. We go every week. We call it Thai Thursday, so it's a great time. So for this question, I would say that I think the themed program and like cohort model of the HRCM program makes it really easy to make friends, because instead of just like studying abroad at a university and taking different classes from like the people in your cohort, you're kind of just thrown in the same classroom as like 35 other people, and everyone there is like passionate about the same thing. So like social justice and like social sciences and just very interested in the theme of the program. So you already have something in common, and you're like discussing things in class, and you're like going on adventures after class, traveling on the weekends, and it's just been a really good cohort model, and has brought a lot of us really close together. I already feel so close to a lot of the people on this program, and I'm so excited to continue those friendships in California. So living with a host family is, of course, as you can imagine, pretty different from whatever experience you have, especially in your college experience. So like going from living in a dorm in a shared apartment or like in a co-op is very different from living with a host family. So it's really interesting just like figuring out what works and getting to know your host family. And it's been really good for asking questions about the country, about the city, getting recommendations, knowing how to get around. And it's really good for the cultural immersion aspect of the program. So I'm really happy living with a host family. I like living in a house. It's really awesome. And I think I got really good luck with both of my host families, in both Chile and Argentina. And it's just been a great time. The food's been really good, and I'm really happy here. So I feel like I've got this question a lot from like my friends back home, my family, everybody, even my host mom is like, and honestly, like, I feel like I've had really good luck in both countries, both with like living situation and just like adjustment to culture and everything and the food. And I would just say I like Chile and Argentina each for different things. So for Chile, specifically Santiago, I think it's a little bit like slower pace. I think that the public transportation is a little bit better here. It is also a bit cheaper, because of like the transfers and all that. But Argentina, I think, is like very lively, very fun. There's like a lot to do all the time. So I really appreciate that aspect of it. And I think maybe the food is a little bit better in Chile, but the steak in Argentina is kind of crazy. So, there's different things. I wanted to talk a little bit more about like the program in particular, and I think what sets it apart from a lot of other programs. And I think it really is the fact that it's a themed program. So included in your tuition/program costs, you are in both Chile and Argentina, you are taken to various excursions, cultural sites, memory sites, and you are truly immersed into the culture of both countries, which is truly incredible. So we've gone on so many side quests to so many different like places and done so many things. I can now say I've made empanadas. I can now say I've danced tango and Argentine cumbia. I've been to an opera now. I've been to a ballet. I've been to different parks. I've been in an estancia. And also I visited places of cultural significance and memory. So I've been to Esma in Argentina, and I've been to Villa Grimaldi and here in Santiago. So it's been incredible being to experience that aspect of both countries. Another pretty awesome aspect of this program is the fact that I did mention this in a previous story, but you actually do not need to know a lick of Spanish in order to participate in this program. All of your classes are taught in English. The only thing is that in the Argentina portion of the trip, you are taking an intensive Spanish course you are placed in a Spanish course at your level. So in our year's case, there's 4 Spanish classes, and you learn so much, like obviously by merit of being in a Spanish speaking country. You learn so much Spanish, but also the Spanish classes in Argentina that were hosted by Spanish were really great. I loved my Spanish professor, Rosana. She was incredible. And I think Spanish does a great job at like immersing you into like Spanish speaking customs and Argentine culture. So I think that's really cool. Like there's no boundary to entry and they meet you where you at. So that's really awesome. I think the final thing I'd like to touch on is the memory site visit aspect of this program, and like the amount of like guest speakers we've been able to hear from, and just the fact that this program really does take what you're learning from the textbook, from the classroom, and forces you to confront it in real life, hear directly from survivors of a lot of these atrocities, and also even just being able to ask your host families how they were affected by a lot of the things that we're learning about in class in both Chilean and Argentine culture. I think it really does make what you're learning about a lot more personal and forces that confrontation, and just you learn so much. In a way, the culture and the city is your classroom. You're not just confined to an essay, to a book, to a documentary. You're getting to experience these things in real time, and I think that's incredibly important for especially the topic of human rights and how communities resile from such terrible things occurring.